So, in the first video on drum synth, we looked at the heart of the drum synth, the oscillators, which are responsible for the sound generation. We are now going to take a look at the last three sections that allow you to further customize the sound coming from the oscillators. The first is the wave section. Drum synth has the ability to mix recorded drum samples along with the sound that is generated by the white noise generator. Let's take a look. The first part is the sample selector. By clicking and scrolling up or down here, you can select which sample you wish to use. Notice that many of the samples included are similar classic drum synths like the 909 and 808. Use the tune knob to control the tuning of the sample. Having the pitch of the sample slightly off the pitch of the oscillator can create a thicker sounding drum. The velocity to tune parameter allows the varying velocities of the MIDI notes to alter the tuning of the wave sample. Setting this to a positive parameter will result in higher velocities applying positive pitch shifting, while negative values will apply negative pitch shifting to the wave sample. And the mix knob, as you probably guess, controls the level of the wave sample in the mix. The next section is the trig section. Here is where we'll determine how the envelope and the oscillators are triggered. The trigger mode selection window is where you'll select how the envelope is triggered. When set to mono, then the envelope will retrigger each time a note is played, regardless of its current position from the previous note played. When in poly mode, the envelope is not cut when a new note is played. The group mode allows you to not only control the retriggering of the current patch or the selected note, but also the envelopes of other patches. For example, if I set this to group 1, then any other patch that is also assigned to group 1 will have its envelope retriggered whenever a patch that is assigned to group 1 is played. The remaining parameters will control additional retriggering characters. The count parameter will determine how many times, while the patch is being played, the envelope is retriggered. The rate control determines the amount of time between each retrigger of the envelope. Higher values will create longer times between triggers, while lower will of course have shorter times. The decay parameter will control the fade out time of each envelope after being triggered. The tone parameter will apply a low-pass filter to the patch. The click parameter will have a phase offset to the sound generated by the oscillators. The last velocity to control parameter is velocity to tone. This allows the varying velocities to control the low-pass filter. Moving over to the main section, here are a few parameters that will control the final output of the patches in the instrument. The pan control allows you to pan either left or right the currently selected patch. The volume, of course, controls the level of the currently selected patch. Use the send selection to send the currently selected patch to one of FL Studio's 4 mixer send channels. Use the level parameter to control how much of the output is sent to the selected send. Selecting a patch to edit can be done in a few ways. Perhaps the easiest would be to click on the corresponding note from the on-screen keyboard. But another way would be to use the drop-down Selected menu. From this menu that appears, you can select the patch that you wish to edit. Another simple way would be to enable the auto option and then select the patch using your MIDI controller keyboard. The keyboard icon will allow you to show or hide the included on-screen keyboard. The last option I want to look at is the morph option, which, as the name suggests, allows you to morph one patch to another. To do this, simply select the first patch you wish to morph with one of the selection options we just looked at. Next, select the patch from the morph menu to the left of the on-screen keyboard. The two patches are now morphing together. Use the amount wheel to control the balance of the two patches as they are morphed together. DrumSynth Live brings to FL Studio the classic drum synth machines of yesterday within a flexible plugin interface. FL Studio, the fastest way from your brain to your speakers.